Welcome in, Austin the Stache with you, joined today by Terri Carlson, director of the Holthus Convention Center. Terri, how are you today?
I'm great. It's Monday and the sun is shining.
That's right. Can't get much better than that, right?
I mean, maybe like 10 degrees cooler, but I think that's coming tomorrow.
And also Friday, but
yes,
you know.
True. Yes, and Friday.
But every Friday comes with a Monday.
It does.
So,
it does.
You know, wise words of the day is you have to get through your Mondays to get through to your Fridays.
We do. You have to push through to the end of the week. Or we'll get there soon enough.
Absolutely. Speaking of things that will come soon enough, balloon days and transportation exploration happening at the Holthus Convention Center. Big things happening during the summertime here in York. Yes. I haven't gotten the chance to experience this sort of stuff before. I mean, I've been working here for the past 3 years, but now with the morning show spot, I'm much more active in the community. Whereas before it was like, show up, make commercials, head back to Lincoln.
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, I really want to be a part of this community. Balloon Days is a pretty big deal.
Yeah. So, and for you not being familiar with Balloon Days and why Balloon Days. So this was a joint effort between the York Chamber of Commerce, York Park and Rec, and the Convention Center. Several years back, Madonna, Cherie, and I got together, and you know, Cherie and I had some things that we were wanting to do on the city side, and Madonna had some stuff going on, and we just decided, why don't we bring all these things together? And it just makes more sense for us to be able to promote and market them all together than each individual, you know, doing their own thing. So that is how Balloon Days came to fruition. And that is kind of why we are where we are now, with an entire weekend of events starting on Friday, going through Sunday. So it's just a fun weekend for you and your family to come into town and, you know, knock a couple to-dos off of your summer bucket list.
Absolutely. And with Balloon Days, with this event at the Holthus Convention Center, it kind of combines the two Yorks a little bit, really like creates a handshake between I-80 York and York proper.
Correct.
It's interesting. It's a cool event. Yeah,
it is. And obviously our location out there is conducive to all the families coming in from the surrounding communities, which is actually, you know, a lot of what we do have. I talked to somebody this morning from Friend who said that she was going to be here with her grandkids on Saturday morning. So we know that we definitely pull from other communities. And so again, with that, we're bringing the people here. We get them to the interstate. And then what do? We push them downtown. Like, hey, while you're here, head on downtown. We got sidewalk sales. We have the balloon fight. We have other activities going on. So it just kind of marries the two together, which is, I think, as a community, that's what you want to do. You know, we're all in this together to promote, you know, a fun community.
Absolutely. So Ellen has told me a little bit about transportation exploration because she's taken her kids to it. It's a free event.
Yes.
And that is hands-on learning experiences for kids, adults. Like, it is just a crazy big event. Tell me a little bit more about the details of, like, what is this? What are people going to be able to experience at the Holthus Convention Center?
Okay, so picture all those little kids. My kids actually went downtown to daycare, and I remember that they were doing street construction at the daycare, and all the little kids were plastered to the window watching all the equipment come in. And you know, every single one of those kids, all they wanted to do was hop in, touch the steering wheel, honk the horn, do whatever they wanted to. So that's exactly what we're doing. So we have, I think right now we're at about 16 different organizations and businesses that will be out there with various equipment, and it's a pretty wide variety of things, which is fun. And you can bring your child, and they'll have representatives there. So obviously we make sure it's a safe environment so nobody's getting hurt, because this is very big equipment.
Right, absolutely.
But we let them hop in the driver's seat. They can play with the steering wheel. They can honk the horn as often as they want, within reason.
I can imagine that this turns into a pretty loud event.
It's pretty loud. And so we kind of position, like, you know, the fire trucks are positioned kind of towards the end, so it, you know, shoots out towards the field. But yeah, it's just a fun event. And then just to see the size of some of these things, like, you know, a lot of kids like farm equipment, they'll talk about combines or tractors and they'll see them in the field, but to see them up in person and to like climb inside of it, that's a, you know, it's a cool thing to do as a kid.
Yeah.
So free for the entire family, 9 to noon on Saturday. So we keep it fairly short in the morning, so it's cooler weather-wise. It's not going to be in the heat of the day. it's just, it's a fun event, I guess. So to give you an idea of some of the equipment that will be there, we have, as always, the York Fire Department and the York Police Department will both be there. York Parks and Rec, they actually have a lot of equipment that they use at their various parks and at the ballpark complex that they're going to bring out as well. And then our Public Works and our wastewater always have some of their dump trucks. I'm not exactly sure what equipment they're going to bring, but it kind of varies, dump trucks, loaders, that sort of a thing. We also have York County Public Transportation is going to bring out one of their vans. York County Sheriff is there. CVA, Central Valley Ag. I believe they're bringing a semi and maybe one other piece of equipment. I'm not positive on that, but again, it's just a wide variety. Hits Towing, Acres will be bringing a couple different pieces of equipment. MPPD usually brings some of their bigger boom trucks out.
Nice.
York University, Jansen Ford, Overland Ready Mix, the National Guard. That's always a big popular one as well. They usually have a station where kids can come up and kind of see some of the equipment that they use in training, but then they also usually have equipment, vehicles that they can hop into as well. Grant Built, they have really pretty trucks the kids like to hop into.
Nice.
So that will be there as well. And then a new one this year is the Crossroads Riders. So that is one of the motorcycle clubs in town. And so they're going to be bringing out some of their trikes. And we're still kind of working out some of the logistics, but hoping that we can maybe do some trike rides for kids that want to do that. It's just a more safer than a motorcycle, I guess, because it's the trike. So we're kind of working on that, but that'll just be a new fun addition as well to the day.
And this is the third year that this has been going on?
You know what? I am really bad about remembering how many years. I know it's more than that because when we started, my kids were little. Okay. I want to say this may be the fifth or even sixth year that we're going on doing this. So and
it's each year it's gotten bigger and new things added. I mean, massive equipment. Yes. Bunch of vendors coming in. Yep. How does the convention center handle this?
So actually, usually the past couple of years we've had a wedding on the same day, but usually the mornings are slower for that. And a lot of groups don't come in until noon to get ready for the day. So that's why we have that, that noon time frame to get one group out before another group comes in. But what we do is we block off the east half of our parking lot to allow for all the equipment to spread out and enough space for people to move around. Some of this equipment's pretty wide. Like I know the one I didn't mention was Bear. They're bringing out some of their the detasseling. They look like little mosquitoes to me. So they're going to bring some of those. And so they're kind of wide equipment. So we do need a lot of space. And so we do allow the west half of the parking lot for parking, obviously. So then as soon as that event wraps up, we tear down, clear up before the next group comes in for the evening. So we definitely have the event management portion of things nailed down out there with groups coming in and out and just making sure it flows nicely.
Absolutely. Sounds like a huge undertaking. Is this one of the more difficult events that you guys put on every year?
The first couple years are always the toughest because you have to sell it to, the businesses, the organizations, like why this is important. Obviously this one's catered to children, but at the same time, we like to tell people, it's a children's event, but at the same time, the parents are coming with the children. So if you're a business that you have job openings or you have a product or a service that you're wanting to sell, they may have that information there as well. So it's not just catering to the kids, but the adults are there also, and you can use it as an opportunity to, converse with them and communicate what offerings you may have for them.
Absolutely. So this is a big event that Holthus puts on. Holthus also puts on a number. I've been to a couple of events that you guys have put on, a lot of summits and various things like that. Are there any events that you would like to see come to Holthus? Like, any, who knows, concerts or, something like that?
So definitely the one area that I kind of always keep my eye out for is that entertainment portion. I think where we've struggled in the past with that is because we are so booked that it's hard to find those acts that can come in that work with the schedule that we already have. Sure. That's kind of an issue that we've had. But definitely, I've actually looked into some traveling theaters, musical groups coming in, just kind of that art-related sector that we don't really have a whole lot for at this point in time.
Because Holthus has a really firm grasp on like the ag sector of things, which makes sense because the community that we're in is a very ag centered place.
Yeah.
But I know that a lot of people's selling point of why you should live in York is because it's close to Lincoln because there's stuff to do. And it's like, well, you know, the Holthus Convention Center is here and they're putting on things all the time.
Yeah.
And so it's just, I'm curious what the thought process is for what events are held and when and why. You know what I mean?
So early on, we actually got into a group at a Lincoln that deals with a lot of the associations. So we were a member of the group. And through that, we were able to bring out a lot of the various Nebraska-based organizations and associations. And they definitely found a benefit to our location because of our location.
Yeah.
So when you look at Lincoln and Omaha, a lot of those people, you know, they don't want to drive too far west just because they're kind of used to their comfort area there. But then when you look on the western part of the state, you know, a statewide association, you have people coming from all the way out in the Panhandle. So this is just kind of a nice location where you can get those people from the western part of the state, but then you can also draw Lincoln and Omaha people out as well. So we actually, this week, we have the AFAN Swine Summit that's going to be there. So exact same thing. You know, it's a member base from across the entire state. And so they're all going to be coming to here this week for their event. And it just works out really well. We have the hotels out there, you know, food options, that sort of a thing. So it just makes sense for those coming in. It's easy access off the interstate.
Totally. So. Absolutely. Okay. Before we finish up, Balloon Days, along with transportation exploration, you said there were sidewalk sales going on. What are some other things happening for Balloon Days?
So I will kind of do a rundown here, but you can also go to the York Chamber website as well for a full list of events. But we're going to kick it off actually on Friday night at the Family Aquatic Center. They're going to do their beach party, which is a fun event. But then that's also going to be followed by their dive-in movie. So they have a big screen that they put up out there, and you can be in the pool and watching the movie. Not sure what the movie is this year, but a lot of times they kind of have it water themed.
Makes sense.
You know, Finding Nemo, that sort of a
Surf's Up.
Yep, Moana, Surf's Up, all those fun movies. And then Saturday, we're going to kick it off with the sidewalk sales downtown. And she does have a list of all the participating businesses that are going to be a part of that on her website. And then transportation exploration will be out at the convention center again from 9 to noon. And at the same time, maybe before you come to transportation exploration, head on down to the senior center for the Waffle Man. If you've never had them, they're delicious. They're amazing. So we have the Waffle Man. And then in the afternoon, Park and Rec is going to be putting on their annual citywide water fight downtown on 6th and Nebraska. The Anna Bemis Palmer Museum has Music on the Plains program in the afternoon. And then there is also a golf tournament at the country club. And then on Sunday, a couple things going on. We have Picnic in the Park, put on by York Park and Rec from noon to 2. And then the Family Circus, Culpeper and Merriweather. That is going to be at the fairgrounds at 2 and 4. And just to note, the tickets for that event will be on sale at Transportation Exploration.
Nice.
So the chamber will have a booth. So if you have not got your tickets for that, you can grab those while you're at Transportation Exploration on Saturday morning.
Sweet. Sounds like a fun-filled, packed weekend for Balloon Days. And what better way than to have a free event in the middle of it all for the kids to go out, you know, get all the energy out early on.
Yes.
So that way they will sit and watch nicely for the circus.
Exactly. Yes. Burn all the energy.
Absolutely. Terri, thanks for jumping on with me today. Really appreciate it.